Okay. This is hashtag expeditiously with your boy J Hop, and this is my man Rage. What's going on, Rage, man?
Man. You know what's going on. I mean, I know this is some real stereotypical lunch bucket type shit.
You eating them down to the rind, man. You don't want the whole watermelon, bro.
Right, let me explain something to you, man. It's not even a game, man. I just think we playing out here, man. The
whole watermelon.
Under the rind. You know
Rage, man, we're going to have to work on this diet, man. And I think you're doing a good job because I'd rather see you eating a bowl of watermelon than, a bowl of candy, jelly beans, sugar, all the shit that you normally be on your
guilty
menu.
is charged.
Yeah, all the shit.
And honey buns, all type of pastries and
all of that.
Whatnot.
We're going to work on all of that.
Word.
Yeah, man. Also, man, real quick, man, if you don't mind, man. Hey, y'all go get all y'all merch, man. Check out the website, jhopentertainment.com. Get all your merch right there. This is how we funding a lot of our endeavors, the film projects, the podcasts, keeping products on deck, making sure everybody that make their order, they get their order expeditiously. So, yeah, we appreciate that, man, for sure. And all the ones that supporting and been supporting, we appreciate that. You know what I mean? We got a top seller, too, don't we, Ray?
We got a top seller, man. That's the rooftop joint. The one when we commemorate the scene with you and Morgan Freeman on the roof. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas, again, we had to point out that is the origin of the...
so they feeling that one, huh?
They feeling that one. They're definitely feeling the rooftop expeditiously shirt. And like I said, like you said, this ain't the Homeboy Shopping Network. Y'all make that order. We make sure we get it out to y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nice little business, you know?
Yeah, I don't play when it come to that. You know what I mean? People spend their bread. Nah, you make sure that every order gets treated like it's the one and only order.
Word.
I make sure that.
Yes, but it's so hot, man. Let's get right to it. I know we kind of celebrating something right now, right?
Yeah, I was trying to get my little thing together and everything, man. But my little thing, because being that one of our sponsors and shit came through. Okay. Appreciate the sponsors and shit. You know what I mean? That come through and make sure we got our shine. Make sure we got our herb supply. Appreciate it, man. I didn't have to ask too many times before people start hitting me up, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
But yeah, man. Y'all can also get y'all J-Hop Moonshot jars. I don't know if y'all can see them. They're well or whatever, man. So, as far as with the camera angle and all of that.
Yeah, these the prototype jump.
Yeah, these the prototypes. We're working on them.
And all that.
But we're going to have a toast, man. We got a lot to toast about, man. I'm just starting to do this podcast thing, man. And I have done reached heights in a couple of months with just being up to speed with everybody that is on podcasting and on this digital platform and these digital streets. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, we want to toast it up to Vlad, J-Hop Entertainment. You know what I mean? The interview was dope. Appreciate it. And I'm sure he appreciated it as well.
Word. VLAD TV, I might not be able to see it that expeditiously, but, you know what I mean? We actually had this thing together where we manufactured these jars. This one right here says VLAD TV Expeditiously J-Hop. That's got the J-Hop logo and insignia with expeditiously on it, hashtag. So we was trying to get him in time for the interview, but shipment didn't get there. We wanted to surprise Vlad, but Vlad, look for this in the mail. Thank you for being
we got a package host for you.
You know what I mean? Definitely shout out your assistant. It was a lovely time. I want to
appreciate the hospitality for sure.
I want to take a cue from that. And, let's talk about the interview, man. Like, how'd you feel being kind of behind the curtain of that whole empire right there? It is an empire.
What I learned is that from 89 to now, of course, a lot of shit done changed, bro. And this digital, these digital streets, what we like to call them, has created us and where it's at today. Like I gotta go ahead and accept the fact that I'm an old head, okay? You know, and I depend on my youngsters and shit to kind of like keep me abreast on things, man. But one thing I've learned here lately with, you know, listening to the music, you know what I mean, different artists, you know, different slangs. At one time it was just rap, and it formed into hip hop, and then now we got, you know, I'm hearing trap music, then you got mumble rap, you know, and to me it's all good. You know, motherfuckers able to, you know, get a check from it. It's all to the good. My thing is I'm just trying to be able to, I want to learn the difference between the two. If I'm listening to trap music, I want to know I'm listening to trap music. If I'm listening to mumble rap, I want to know I'm listening to mumble rap. And I'm sure I'm not the only 45 or in your 40s, a little older generation that the times have changed.
Right.
And I ain't wanting to knock some shit. I'm more so wanting to learn more about it. Like, okay, nah, I ain't trying to knock y'all little niggas and shit.
Who you feeling today? Who you feeling today? What you can say is outrageous.
Hey, you know what? What's that boy name, man? Because I be playing this shit. I don't want to die young, so I ride with one. 10 toes down in my Balenciaga. He ran up on the nigga with the shot. Cold-hearted nigga with the blocker. I keep it on me, don't want to die young. That shit banging. I love that shit. I forgot who that is. It's somebody. I don't know, man. I keep up with the songs and shit, but I listen to all of that shit, man. You know what I mean? Whatever I'm feeling and whatever banging on the bike, you know what I mean? When I'm rolling, you know, I got a whole section in my music collection called Ride Music. And that's where all my favorite shit at. So you going to go in that motherfucker and you going to find a lot of the ladies shit. You know, it's definitely flooded with Rick Ross. You know, that Rose, you know what I mean? Because I believe him. I can understand every goddamn thing he's saying. You feel me? And I can relate to it. So when it come to that, I think everybody know that's been my favorite since every day I'm hustling. I was working the garbage truck when that shit came out. So you know I'm getting off work. Like, yeah, fuck y'all niggas. Yeah, I'm in the garbage truck. But every day I'm hustling.
Hey, let me jump on that, man. You know, me and you, we always be kind of tag teaming in the car about that episode. And, you know, yeah, this is Rage. Some of y'all might know me formerly from the United Mean Godcast with Lord Jamar and Rodriguez. Shout out. So, you know, I'm that dude.
Shout out. What's up, peoples?
All day. So, you know, I'm that dude that they refer to as...
We got to get one in, Jamar. You too, digger.
Oh, man.
Don't fuck with your nigga.
You don't want to see Jamar's weed stash, but
yeah, I already know.
It's going to be a problem.
Sick, right? You already know, man. Legendary motherfuckers, man. You know, legends, man.
Yeah, so, you know, I fancy myself the hip-hop forensic.
Yes, he does. Does.
So, you know, I just want to kind of run through that. Like, some of the things you just said, just in terms of order you might have put out. I know some of the YouTube commenters and the KRS-One enthusiasts. Shout out to Blastmaster, original teacher, KRS-One. Pause. Now, they might say some of that was heresy in the sense that hip-hop is the culture, rap emanated from it, blah, blah, blah. Now, but let's mess with this trap thing. You know,
yeah, give us some trap music history,
let's
bro.
look at the trap music.
I'm trying to learn, bro.
Right. So a lot of these things are just simply just like terms of art, you know?
Okay.
So the trap music term, official knowledge has your boy T.I. as being the one to properly coin that. Shout out Trouble Man.
Oh, that's my dude. That's my dude, T.I.
Tip.
You
know what I mean?
That's my nigga, man. The
T.I.
family dude, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I can relate to all of that shit.
Right on.
And it was, and another thing while we on that, because we can't just say T.I. and move on like that. Bruh, on some real shit, I really appreciate you sharing your family values and your family and how y'all get down, how you raise your kids and all that with us, man, because I'm sure a lot of us that may be new to the family or this, that, and the other, or may didn't have that father or male figure in their life, they take notes from that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to tell you, I appreciated it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Thank you for doing that, because that was a hell of a sacrifice. Keep doing what you're doing.
Word. So, and again, and I'm definitely available for proper correction or intelligent contradiction.
Contradiction, right.
You dig? But from what I'm understanding, obviously the term trap refers to, where brothers hustle.
Right.
Where they move,
Right.
product. So
right. Now, is that the music or is that in the lyrics? Because, last I checked, most of they was anyway. I can't hardly understand most of the shit now, but they was. But I get down with it, though. I ain't gonna front. You hear me bumping some everything. Especially that damn Young Thug. I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but that shit sound good.
Yo, I hear. Now, I'm really excited to delve into this. So, again, we just got to parse out what the terms represent. So, trap music obviously now is evolved into a genre. So, trap music in its inception could simply be described as the type of music you play while you hustling. Okay. So, while hip hop was going through its different phases, maybe, backpack or boom bap or player, whatever music that was gravitated towards being that street life is what Cass was playing in the trap. So that could be considered the overarching concept of trap music. Okay. However, let's get forensic. Now, it gets real deep. Now, you can't talk about trap music, as a genre.
Come on up here, Smokey.
Yeah,
Come on.
This is the head of security right here.
Good boy.
I gotta talk about
security
Smokey
right here.
Smokey was jumping on me downstairs and he started kind of hump and gyrate on my arm.
He needs some pussy, man.
Yeah, I hope he's not gender fluid.
He's a virgin.
Okay, but
he like this herb though. That's why he called Smokey.
Oh, okay. But right. So with the trap thing, if just to make sure.
I wish I had a dog keen to smell when it comes to smoking herb, man. Can you imagine how I would get if my nose senses was like a dog?
Yo, I never thought of that.
I wouldn't even have to be around it. I just walk in the room like, I'm good. Like Smokey did.
He's good. Smoker's out. He's good.
Yeah, he good.
But yeah. So with the trap sound, the way that evolved is, I want to wrap this up. So, shout out to DJ Toomp.
Okay.
Shout out ATL.
For sure.
Okay, so ATL's one of their first rappers to really
took
put
that shit back to the South hard.
One of the first rappers to put the ATL on the map was a brother named Shy D. MC Shy D.
MC Shy D.
All right, DJ Toomp was MC Shy D's DJ.
Okay.
Now what happened is at that point, hip hop was evolving from like the techno, electro musicianship in terms of how they was making the beats.
Pause on making the beats.
Sir.
I need to adjust it.
Yeah, like I was saying about MC Shy D. Shy D was one of the first rappers to put ATL on the map. And also particularly his DJ was named DJ Toomp.
What was his song, Shy D?
You know what? The name of the song, I forget, but he sampled the Pink Panther. This is right around the time when the show was blowing up.
Oh.
And he's don't MC Shy D. He had like kind of a nasal voice and it was very interesting. But it popped in the southern region. So Toomp was his DJ Toomp. And they was obviously using and employing the SP1200 at that time. And there's a little bit of controversy around this, but again, like I said, I call myself the Forrest Gump of hip hop. At the time, I was living in Orlando, Florida. I called myself going to battle a local bumpkin named DJ Magic Mike, taking my arrogant Brooklyn DJ ass there and thought I was going to go and explain to him how to work the techniques. So after he shredded me, we developed a long relationship. That's my brother. And I wasn't around at the time, but rumor has it that definitely Magic Mike and DJ Toomp somehow evolved that process of oscillating the 808. The 808 sound.
Oscillating, giving it that.
Yes.
Okay.
Oscillation is oscillation. It's a frequency more so than a sound. It's a feel. So that's what was making the cars rattle. What they call drop. So they call Magic Mike the king of drop. Because in Orlando, Florida, there was a movement called drop bass, drop that bass, just bass. Mike was going platinum and gold with no overhead. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so that evolved into a comprehensive, almost industrial method of applying the SP1200 and the Roller 808 to create that detuned 808 sound. Eventually, it really became popularized down to a craft through my homeboys, the historical, infallible Tribe Called Quest. Rest in peace, Fife Dog. Shout out Q-Tip. Shout out Jerobi White. Shout out Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Rest in peace, Chris Lighty. And they recorded an album called The Low End Theory.
Right.
That was the process of them explaining what hip-hop's lore was. The lore of hip-hop at that point was because we were known for low-end music. And in particularly, shout out to the engineer, Bob Powers, Battery Studio. When we were going to studios at that time, hip-hop hadn't yet cemented to be an industry. So we were coming with these techniques of trying to sample records and recording in historically, white rock and roll studios. Chunk King, Hit Factory, Sony, Unique. So we go in there with our hip-hop ass, and the engineer be sitting there looking like Led Zeppelin. And it became a joke. They'd be like, let me guess, you want more bass? Like, it was really yo, and y'all busted, y'all know, man. He used to get physical, man. We had to kick those. So hip-hop had to make its own engineer. Shout out Young Guru, that's Jay-Z's, you know what I'm saying? Personal engineer. Anyway, so that's the trap sound, the low end 808, the process of oscillating that sound is what makes trap popular, and trap also employs the 808 to this day still. The 808, the quantized hi-hats, all that kind of stuff. And again, the first trap sound in terms of a song in hip hop, arguably in my opinion, is Run DMC's Tougher Than Leather. So that's that.
So what about mumble rap?
The mumble rap thing. Mumble rap is really just a dig at rappers who are not, let's say, more lyrically inclined. Okay, so like a regular rapper who's an enthusiast or a rap enthusiast really judges a rapper and the rapper's formidability on his bars. How can you get your point across within these, parameters of bars? What are you saying? How are you dragging your words in? Where are your entendres? We know where's the wit. That's what we call bars. So what's happening now is that, there's some rappers who may not necessarily be bar credible, but they're still giving you a vibe. You know what I'm saying? And I respect it because that's also hip hop. And I was saying, if you go into the annals of hip hop history, there was always a place for that. You had rappers like Busy B, you dig, right, who wasn't necessarily known for bars, but he just give you a vibe. Ball did they ball, but dang, dicky, ball did they. Yes, y'all, whatever. So
well, that's like shit. Michael Jackson. M. Jack. You know what I mean? Mike Jack, man. He if you listen to his lyrics and his songs and stuff like that, man, some of them words you don't know what the hell he's saying, but it sound good. You know what I mean? Whenever you ever told somebody to shaman. That's a Michael Jackson lyric. Yeah, for sure.
Which man Eddie Murphy said on Saturday Night Live back in the days. Hey, that's a James Brown lyric.
Yeah, and James Brown as well. You know what I mean? It wasn't so much about every word being an actual word. That shit was on the one. You know what I mean? So it worked, and so I see the same thing. So that's what's up. I got a little lesson, so now I know, I know what it is, man. But real quick, man, before we put a bow tie on this thing, man, I want to go ahead and just shout out my city right quick, man. Newark, Brick City, and all of the the soldiers, man, that's on the forefront of the fight, far as from a political standpoint and far as from making a difference in our city, trying to clean up our city. Shout out to those that has come from our city that's done had major success and didn't forget about our city and came back to our city, you know what I mean, and invested in our city, like a Queen Latifah, like Shaq. Shout out to Shaq doing the towers and everything. I see you, big bro. And thanks for reaching out. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, man. And just like the mayor, man, I know Roz for years, man. And, always been, on the forefront of the fight, you know what I mean? And, for him to be in position as the mayor now, man, it's just like, the city has stepped up in so many major ways with the children that grew up in the city through all of that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just want to salute y'all for sure. I see y'all. Out of sight, not out of mind.
What's interesting, man, is like we were discussing earlier, the whole Newark discussion, is very controversial. And I point back to when years ago on the Jay Leno show, in his monologue, like he was mentioning like Newark is like almost like the toilet of America,
Right.
And then Cory Booker, who was running for mayor at that time, or might have been mayor, actually took the task to, make Jay Leno accountable for that, and he actually did on the show. Sure.
So you said that he was...
Yeah. So Cory Booker took Jay Leno to task for those statements and, began the process of the what I call the redemption of Newark. And I spent some time in Newark. And one thing I do as just a cultural critic or an aspiring revolutionary is, you always got to do the knowledge where you touch down, do what we call you put your ear to the ground, and you find out what's going on locally in terms of how are the people aspiring, what are their struggles. And, our research shows that, Newark has never been forgiven for that unpardonable sin that the city committed in 1967 by, issuing that uprising, or what they,
call the riots.
Correct. And, because of that, Newark has experienced social, political, and economic divestment. Dig? It's been redlined. So, nothing happens in a vacuum. You create the environment for crime, and for depraved, behavior when people don't have the resources and don't see a way out or a hope, And I'm not saying that's a Newark story, because there's not a lot of beautiful things come out of Newark.
Yes, they do.
But just, some of the things that it's known for in terms of some of its, violent acts or whatever. Listen, there's a root cause for all of that. So it's a beautiful thing when Newark sons and daughters can heed that call and rise to the Black excellence and
Yes.
reinvest. You dig?
Because that's where we at right now, Rage, man. I mean, it's like, we've been, I got 30 years. I'm going on over 30 years in the business, man. And, I missed a lot. But, where things are at now is not, where they were. And you still got a lot of new cats, new to the fame. And there's certain things that, is keeping their checks coming in that they have to do. So I understand it. I ain't knocking nobody hustle. But where I see, cats like Puffy, cats like Shaq, sisters like Latifah, Tyler Perry.
Rest in power, Nipsey Hussle.
Rest in power, Nipsey Hussle, for sure. 100, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, man, they representing a different message, and it's more black excellence, you know, and that's where we at. It's not so much about, you know, oh, I'm rich and I'm flossing it. You know what I mean? It's that's that, you know, okay, I gotta wear a big gold chain to show you that I got a big check. Like, we ain't really there. Let's go build a big building to help all these other people that may not have that same opportunity.
I want to point out people like Lil Jon, shout out. I want to point out people like Akon, lighting up Africa. Hey, man, you know, the beautiful thing, listen, man.
Drake, you know what I mean? Drake is doing a lot of good things as well. What's the boy name, man, that gave that money to them, $1 million to the schools in Chicago? He wear the little hat. What's his name? Chance the Rapper, yeah. Shout out to him, man. Appreciate y'all, man. That's what's up.
The ill thing about it, man, is, you know, what our foreparents went through in that transatlantic, you know, Holocaust. You know, for the sons and daughters of those generations to redeem themselves by attempting to forage their way into this new world with these type of methods, I think is beautiful. And what's interesting is, if you look at it even from a biblical point of view, or, you know, or that type of vibe, you know, they always say the first shall be last, the last shall be first. You know, the concept of Wakanda, creating paradise on earth, you know, it's attainable. I think.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, listen, they're still finding alloys and metals and things that they can't put on the periodic chart under the soil in Africa.
Right.
China is buying Africa. Akon is intelligent to point black Americans back to Africa. Africa has the resources to feed the world 7 times over, and it can't feed itself once. Wakanda is attainable. And that is something to aspire for. And I think that the universe is pushing us in that direction for us to take control of the world. There's an old African.
Are you saying, like, go back to Africa?
It's not necessarily go back to Africa.
I'm saying because he said, you know, he's driving people, you know, to go back to Africa because, you know, Chinese is coming in and buying up everything.
The whole go back to Africa notion, you know, listen.
Are you saying sending us going back, we go back financially?
But that's what I was saying.
Right.
Shout out to Marcus Garvey. Okay. Yeah. Marcus Messiah Garvey.
I was told I look like Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, actually. Damn, maybe we need to. Okay. Shout out to Marcus Messiah Garvey. You know, Africa for the Africans, both home and abroad. That's what he said. So for him, the going back to Africa wasn't necessarily repatriation of the actual, you know, landmass, but that is important as well. But it's also just mentally and spiritually, you dig? Meaning making sure that Africa's descendants and sons and daughters are properly fed from its motherland, you know, or to just heed that call, you dig? So, yeah, so, you know, he set up chapters in Brazil. I think so. Africa is wherever we're at as a people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but definitely the shit. It cracked me up. Cats is going to sales and buying junk, what they call jewelry, that depreciates the second they walk out the store. And your homeland got all that in the soil, man. Like,
right.
We got work to do, man. You know, there's an African saying, leadership should remain in the hands of the most dispossessed. There's no one on this planet right now more dispossessed than the sons and daughters of Africa. So, shout out to Akon. Shout out to everybody in the Black Excellence Movement. Let's do what we got to do. Let's get this work done.
Hey, man. We're going to tie it up, bro. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Hashtag expeditiously with your boy J-Hop and Rage. And we out.
Yes, so wait. Tell them about that merch shop one more again.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget that. Y'all go get all y'all merch from jhoppentertainment.com. Shirts, hats, This is our way of funding a lot of our endeavors in the future, so we can remain as independent as possible, and have as much control over different projects and stuff that we're trying to do and put out. I am an entertainer, so I have to entertain. So y'all make sure y'all hit it up, jhopentertainment.com. Get all your merch. Expeditiously.